Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Batman Arkham Asylum. So, we are either 75% through of the game as far as all the collectibles, or much closer to being towards the end of the game if we decide to skip the collectibles. We're in the caves, we're trying to fight the crocodile or Killer Croc is his real name. I've been calling him just a crocodile. We've been playing the entire game in detective mode and we'll continue to do that. Let's go ahead and move the mouse cursor off the screen. Like, we need to get this plant.
Too late, Batman. One step closer and this goes into the water. The cave will fill with your deepest,
I had kind of forgotten about Scarecrow.
And you will never reach your precious venom room.
This feels like we're just gonna throw a batarang at him and
don't do it, Brain.
So, why my batarang would activate the shock collar, I don't know. I don't have the sonic batarang ability. Scarecrow Crane was just captured. Basically, maybe not dead. I mean, you really can't kill any character ever in a DC storyline because you may want to come back with them later. This hallway looks very much like a hallway we were in last time we were in here, but it's not the same hallway because that hallway, there was a door over there on the right and that is totally missing, and this section over here did not end in that way. I watched a review of this game, and while I pretty much could not agree with pretty much all of the opinion pieces that were said in the review, which, let's face it, the opinion parts of a review tend to be nearly 100% of what a review is. I assume I can't jump in the water, so this will be interesting to see if this actually lets me get into one of those tubes. I imagine the answer is no. We still got a large amount of battle damage. Yeah, I don't think that there's any more secrets down that way. There was one thing that was argued, and I think it is somewhat fair to mention, that yes, the verticality in this game is higher than most games up for its time. There's just more things you can climb up to. Yeah, I can't climb up into that, but there's just more that you can kind of do as far as, do I want to be up higher or lower. Even in the particularly dense parts of Assassin's Creed 1 in the cities, there usually was the rooftops of buildings and then the street level of a city, and sometimes you'd have to climb to the very top of a building, but that very top of a building, yeah, here's a I imagine when this game originally released, you would not be so easy to see the end of that tunnel and realize it goes nowhere. It's more of a transition in Assassin's Creed 1 to get from the ground floor of a building to the rooftop of a building that you were gonna climb. That being said, that height doesn't kind of feed back on itself in a way that would... Geez, can I go all the way over to that area? I mean, if I can go all the way over here, I might as well. And we'll take...
Batman, can you hear me? Have you found Croc's lair yet?
I'm close to Croc's lair. I'll contact you when I have more information.
So, am I going the wrong direction now? Or should I waste more time? I think I'm probably going the wrong direction, and it's probably not worth it to play this game. So I think when we came to this area before, that door was locked. Yeah, that's where I would guess on that. There's a couple of thoughts I have here that this very well, this and Assassin's Creed 1 combined, may have been the two games that pushed me to play games for achievements and thus play games for... Seems like I'm gonna fall through here.
Oracle, I'm heading into Croc's lair to collect the plant spores Ivy spoke about.
This
He's
feels
in
like
some
this
kind
is
of
just
old
gonna
sewer
jump
network.
me into a
Send me the
boss
schematics.
battle.
It's like a maze down here.
There's nothing on record. Bruce, are you sure about this? Sounds like a suicide mission.
I've got no choice. I've tuned the scanner to detect the spores required to make the antivenom. It'll lead me straight to them.
What about Croc?
Croc's just an animal. And animals just need traps and the right bait. I'll be fine. I'll contact you when I'm done.
That's weird. So he is just gonna wants me just to blow it up, which seems...
These floating platforms will support me, but will also send sound waves through the water, giving away my position to Croc. I'll need to move as slowly as possible.
I can't just do that. Seems like I'm going the wrong direction. Where does this go? We don't even know because it's not opening up the... It's not opening up the map. This whole line writing thing.
Now's not the time.
Oh, okay. So, Batman by default has set a trap, I guess is the idea. And I guess if I just crouch down here, that's slow enough, even though I'm moving fairly fast. So what this feels like is, instead of what I thought it was going to be, where you used your grapple shot much earlier on Killer Croc and hooked him with the grapple hook and then had to push some quick time events to defeat him, it seems like it's probably going to just be walking around this area stealthily for not a really good reason, other than I imagine if I did try to just run, Killer Croc probably would attack me and kill me. I just kicked something that made sound. Alright. So, all I'm doing right now is holding A. And he's just chasing me. And we can turn off the detective mode for a second, I suppose, to try to get some atmosphere here. And then once we're past this point, we just need to go here and wait. Seriously? What did I do wrong? Alright. So he will just grab you and kill you.
I will enjoy feasting on your bones.
So it checkpointed me at this point. I'm going the wrong direction. I don't know what happened. If I was... It's telling me to select the batarang. So I'm supposed to hit him with the batarang?
Tick tock, feed the croc.
So yeah, we have a lot of these sequences that kind of seem like they're pre-programmed. Alright. See how this game is just messaging itself terribly? It really doesn't make any sense.
Hungry Batman.
Seems like what we're doing now is just walking forward. And over there seems to be a spore. Let's gather a spore.
These spores don't contain enough of the antivenom mold. I'm going to need to find more.
So this feels like a big old time waster with a lot of collectibles. Did he take me with him? I think he did.
I will enjoy feasting on your bones.
So it's saying having your batarang primed and ready for a surprise attack, which is basically saying have fail once and know that the guy is coming to attack you because you failed once. This is one of those terrible sequences where you would never succeed. Like, I guess you could... Is he behind me? How was I supposed to know he was gonna come? How was I supposed to know he was gonna come behind me? Am I supposed to be doing some kind of 3D audio?
I can find you, Batman.
And I guess you're probably safe when you're collecting these spores. But I'm fairly certain that if there's even one collectible in this game, like, it's probably hidden somewhere you cannot miss, and it's probably fairly easy to find. Otherwise, this would be just an extra level of frustration. And let's face it, there's already a decent amount of frustration here. This is not good. This is definitely not something that we've been training towards or learning.
I have your scent.
That's right. I don't know if I actually hit that guy. Like 3 times here. 3 times I just got struck by that. And it feels like we're gonna have to do this several more times. Like 6 times potentially. And he's breaking through these wooden barriers, which I can't even tell are wooden barriers because I have to play the game in detective mode the whole time just to save my own bacon. That feels like that's... Am I supposed to press something right now? This really is just not the game we've been playing up until this point. Meanwhile, we can drop down here, switch back to a batarang, run. Not sure if I need to run the whole time. I suppose the spirit of Arkham tomes are also supposed to be showing how the old person in charge of the Arkham Asylum went crazy.
I will enjoy feasting on your bones.
Yeah, I don't think there's any collectibles in this section. I think they've just decided to throw some caution to the wind and have us run in an attempt to try and speed up this whole process.
There you are.
The fact that he has 2 attacks and this isn't just a boss fight is part of the problem. And I guess I am just looking for things. Looking for more spores, and we'll see how all that works. Which direction do we go? Here we have a mutated spore root that's just on the ground. But also we nearly got caught, and I don't think that was intentional.
I've got enough spores. I need to get back to the Batcave and formulate the antidote.
Oh, I get it. You've activated a sonar beacon down there. Clever.
Oracle, I'm getting out of here.
What about Croc?
He won't be a problem.
So some of these walls do seem like they are just intentionally and a lot of these angles are not particularly easy to see. Make sure we're back on the batarang. And I assume you wouldn't have the floating, the sonic batarang wouldn't really help you here to shock him twice as much. Or if it even did help, it's probably not going to help by much. Is he chasing? Way too much of this. We may spend like a full 20 minutes just, let's see, just trying to get through this sequence. And I don't know if I fully believe that this is actually a maze and not just kind of randomly generating sequence. And yeah, I think we're done at this point. And now they want me to run in a different perspective, which I don't know if he's going to trigger the explosion from a different perspective automatically, or if I'm going to have to press some kind of quick time button that we're not used to pressing. It should be a right trigger even if it was a quick time event.
My caves will be your tomb.
I actually hit the wrong button there. I hit right trigger when it should have been right bump. And it still worked.
I will find you.
Which, it's nice when games do that. And so that's going to give us 3,000 experience for doing that whole section. And we do now know that that general idea, that general area is not something we're coming back to. So we're going to get to Sonic Batarang. It probably isn't going to help us any. Sonic Shock Batarang would be the next upgrade, and it's not going to help us any either. I would be best off if I even get one more unlock. Like, it's going to be weird if we get all the collectibles and I still don't get enough experience to get all the unlocks, but if I do get one level up, just combo upgrades are what we should be shooting for. And there's still a ton of collectibles in this area. And it threw me to the map because the game wanted to throw me to the map, but I had just been to the map. So now we have Sonic Batarang as our last option, which is to show that the upgrade we are going to see, the final Metroidvania upgrade, is really just going to be an upgrade of what we already have. So we see some people. Now I know if we run over here, there's one collectible. But I don't know if it's really worth the effort to try and run around this area too much. No, it really isn't, because I'd have to go through here to get to apparently an area I'm thinking of that's different. And without the secrets map, that doesn't make sense. These grapple points still don't work. And I'm not sure that they ever are going to work.
It's not safe to use the grapple. I need to climb up.
Yeah, just take a moment to look here. Sure looks nice. Sure looks nice when you aren't playing the game like this, so you know how to actually play the game. From the YouTube video I watched, apparently even the art director recognized that it was a mistake to introduce the detective mode. There is.
Joker says he's getting his toys from somewhere. Makes sense,
Right.
I guess.
So do these guys even have collars on them? No.
Yeah, good
So
point.
we've got one guy with a gun. And that's pretty much it. Like, so yeah, the YouTube video I watched talked about this fight sequence and how it was not ideal because your reach often gets exceeded while you're trying to do combos. You get knocked out of the fight pattern when you're trying to down somebody. And it is this rhythm game, or at least that's how they were describing it, where you have to kind of figure out if your hit is properly timed or not. But what was weird is I think I particularly just have a complete dislike for this fight system.
The plants are going crazy. I'm getting seismic spikes in all locations.
Yeah, I don't know if the plants are ever going to go away.
I'm heading to the Batcave to mix up the antidote.
Good. I tell you to hurry, but I'm sure you know what you're doing. Contact me in the cave if you need anything.
Yeah. I think we're just going to see the end of the game with a bunch of plants. Come over here, grab a Riddler trophy. Come over here. Come on, do that. Get back up here. Did we actually... Let's go ahead and make sure we scan this.
The
We
beast
missed
was
that one.
too strong. His animal savagery nearly cost me my life. I took my frustrations out on a lone patient. His case notes suggested he was a paranoid schizophrenic. His pleas, as I beat him to death, suggested much more. His confessions were illuminating. My path was clear.
So, apparently the Arkham comic, the Arkham Asylum comic, was written by Grant Morrison. I think written. The creator of the Watchmen series. And so it was a particularly dark comic in which the people in charge of Arkham and Arkham itself was just such a dark and crazy place that that it explained like really, really bad treatment
Scan and open.
of the prisoners. And so that slightly inspired this game, but certainly it didn't go anywhere as dark. This was a game rated T for teen. So I'm kind of surprised they even used the B word twice in the game. But there definitely is a feeling of not my Batman here. Like, I know, and I know it's not realistic, and I know that's not really what you should expect for Batman to act like Clark Kent and Superman and just a super good guy always. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like there's a level of brutality here that was softened up from Batman the Animated
How
Series.
close are you to making the
The
cure?
voice actors for
Close.
Batman,
It's
Joker,
been more
and Harley
difficult than I
Quinn
expected.
in this game are the same voice actors from Batman
The
the
process is
animated
slow,
series.
difficult, and doesn't produce much antidote.
Even though the skin
And
is
the good news?
chemical
the
will
skins are
definitely
totally
stop
not
Ivy.
those
May
characterizations.
also reverse the Titan transformation. I need to run some more tests to be sure. I've set the computer to create more, but I need to get out of here and find Ivy.
Thank God. Her plans have reached the Gotham River.
Is this just gonna jump me directly to a boss battle with Poison Ivy? After we just had a boss battle with
I'm fine.
kind of the Scarecrow and Killer Croc. So he's like building something on the fly. Batman's not really much of an inventor either. So the idea that he just built something out of this is not super believable. So we've got the Ultra Bat Claw, upgraded Bat Claw attachment, fires up to 3 hooks at a time. Additional leverage allows structural weaknesses to be pulled down remotely. So instead of having the explosive foam on a batarang and throwing it to blow something up, which would have been a much better combat ability, we have this Bat Claw. It's not visually clear that there would have been 3 places where a Bat Claw would hold. And see, now I'm just tapping A, and he's pulling way too hard to pull down the wall. Like, yeah. Because my main entrance, personally, of Batman is Batman the Animated Series, I feel like he should be a slightly nicer character than he's being depicted in this game. I don't feel like he needs to be so tight-lipped and kind of mean. I know that is usually Batman, but he should be somewhat smart if he's supposed to be this great detective. Maybe I'm making an argument that Batman is just poorly written as a character always in most instances, but yeah, it's bad writing in general to take a person who you've given this tragic background story to explain his actions, and you're trying to make him as the good guy, but then besides that tragic backstory of his parents dying, which we've all heard so many times we've become numb to it, you do very little, or generally Batman stories do very little to make people want to try and relate to him or feel any kind of friendship or camaraderie with him. So it looks like what we're gonna do here is a bat glide sequence, because this won't work. Although if Batman could just bend his hips a little bit, it totally would. So they want me to glide down there and then work my way around, and that explains this map pretty well, I guess, at this point, when we see that there's only 3 outspurts. Yeah, almost certainly that they wanted to have more of this in the game, but I mean, I constantly have to feel like they ran out of budget. Although, in all fairness, it does make sense that they'd have run out of budget, because pretty much every previous licensed comic book game spin-off has been total garbage. So this did define a new standard, and I can't deny that. If it weren't for Arkham Asylum, then there really wouldn't have been. Like, is there a Riddler's challenge in this area at all? No. Okay, that makes it easier, so we don't have to scan over and over again. Looks kind of like a skull in the rock face. Yep. Either way you look at it. Okay. So we want to go over to this rock, I imagine. And there's something down that general direction. Well, in the fact that this is programmed so that you don't really die regardless, you can just do this, and then if I had missed, so what? It would have rescued me. And then back up to this point. Maybe if I get a little bit out of the scan mode. Like you can kind of see here. Sure would have been nice if you could have jumped from the sides of the walls from the outer world and had much more of an open world experience. But I will grant you that maybe by the time I'm done playing Arkham City, maybe I will just be bored of the open world elements. I've certainly played a lot of Assassin's Creed games. I wouldn't be surprised if the next Assassin's Creed game I jumped into, I was a little bit less enthused as far as all the collecting. Yeah, this is pretty. For the second you get to see it, I suppose. And then it's just back to detective mode. Which, by the way, it is worth mentioning, detective mode doesn't really make a lot of sense in this game, because even if you're outside of detective mode, you still get the indicators during fights of when you should counter. Which means they're already breaking that concept that you would assume. They're breaking the sense of reality. So why not just break it more and have scannable items when they need to be scanned show up on the regular screen anyways. What did I just do? Don't tell me I'm supposed to do something else up there. Like, this way is blocked off. Oh man, I bet this checkpointed me too. I mean, seriously, game, what was I supposed to do? Where do they want me to go? Not back to the Bat Cave, and I guess I couldn't have escaped via the Bat Cave. So I guess they want me to go through this door, and this door, and all the way back here. And they've just kind of made it so... Alright, so when we're out here, now 2 spores are attacking me. You get your health bar and your indicator when you take damage. even in outside of detective mode. So there's nothing there.
I've been running a simulation on the damage Ivy's plants will do if they reach Gotham.
They won't get that far. My antidote will stop them and Ivy.
I hope you're right. I'm here if you need me.
There's a decent chance that I missed the secrets, secret map section. So it's very possible somewhere around here there is something like that. You're getting 25 experience every time you hit these plants. And these plants are here just to give you something to do.
Oracle, we've got another problem.
What now? Two-Face? Riddler? Some kind of giant Joker robot?
Unfortunately, nothing that simple. I'm at the main sewer junction, and it appears to be polluted with Titan. Why? What's he doing now?
I'll look into it.
So I guess that's why this room needed to exist, is so that you could see it was flowing Titan into the water down below. This still doesn't
This area's
work.
falling apart. It's not safe to use the grapple. I need to climb up. The
So-
old-fashioned way.
So they basically made grapple points just to tell you you can't use grapple points. And I don't know if there's a lot of improvement that can be had on any of this. So we're kind of just climbing up a second time. And without a the maps, the odds of me finding a secret that I
Titan
didn't
water
find
seems to be corrosive,
before.
but it shouldn't trouble the suit. What have you found out?
I'm not sure you're ready for this.
No, but go ahead.
Joker's pumping all the waste product from the Titan process into that chamber. It acts as a kind of natural storage tank. Once it's full, it releases the water into the Gotham River. Normally, it's safe, but
This time it's full of Titan. How do I stop it?
I'm working on it.
Oops. I'm gonna have to jump back this way and hope I don't die. And we'll take another brief flash of something interesting. So I guess the good news is, now that we have the line ability, we can't go this way, so we have to go that way, which, line that up and then drop down, pick up the Riddler trophy. There's still some people around. I do have to be kind of critical of how the difficulty settings work in this game, because like, even though I'm playing it on easy, I'm still spending a lot of time when we get into the battles just mashing buttons, when I would have preferred on easy mode to basically hit people in one hit, maybe two. At the very least, have them have a regular health bar. That really would have been a simple thing. You know that they have health because they, after a certain number of hits, you do down them, so would have been pretty easy to just lower that health
Shut
more.
them all down.
What will happen if this Titan stuff reaches Gotham?
It won't reach Gotham.
So Joker wants to pollute Gotham's river for either fun or profit. Let's see, I think that's the way. So there are a couple of extra rooms in the caves.
Done yet?
Yeah, we're at full power, pumping out gallons of the stuff. What will it do? Who cares? But my mom lives down by the dock. I know. Everyone knows.
So we're looking here for any collectibles. I guess the answer to that is no, there aren't any collectibles. They can be seen. Oops. Nearly jump off to my own doom. Another Riddler trophy. We're getting some very Batman-like music playing right now, which, in all fairness, the rest of the game hasn't had that feel. Hasn't been bad, but it's been pretty forgettable. Alright, how am I supposed to... Alright. I need to use the bat claw on this to pull it down. And this is just like the slowest animation possible. And then you throw this and you pull all three of them down and you kill them real quick. I guess maybe people wouldn't have by default figured that out. But even pulling those three down, I did not make contact.
Can you hear me? For the love of... I suppose
He's back to his throne.
Well, enjoy it while you can. These caves will be your tomb.
So it's probably worthwhile to maybe go back and get these collectibles and then come back around the second time. Let's see. Because I kind of question if we end up... Let's see. Am I supposed to just batarang these things? Water purity is at acceptable levels. So there's just some places you can scan, it seems. Alright. And over in that general direction. Let's just land here. Yeah. So where is it hiding? This sneaky collectible. Like, I can't crawl up on those. I don't think that's it. Can't climb down and fall just so easily. I mean, I could jump down if I so wished. Down here. Hey. So this would have just been something that you wouldn't have been able to get at all. One more upgrade. So if we get the other upgrades, we'll just try to get the sonic shock batarang, which probably won't help us. Multiple frequency detonator won't help us. Honestly, this cryptographic power amplifier is probably one of the best options to go with. Of what's left, which kind of just generally means none of the options are very good. The game runs the risk now of being overly difficult. Let's see. Or just running into a scenario where you are going to stretch out the gameplay for no good reason. Alright. If there was a collectible that's over there, it's probably around the corner. I can't even walk along the edges. So, yeah, it's gotta be somewhere over here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a History of Arkham thing. It's an interview tape from Killer Croc. Who we already beat him, so who cares about him?
Just business. Business? What kind of business practices result in a house full of mutilated corpses? I don't like having my time wasted. Someone doesn't pay. They need a lesson. They owed me. So you killed them, tore up their bodies. The police never found all the pieces. They should have looked in the sewers. Are you saying you hid them there? After a while. Usually takes about 8 hours. Time to go, Croc. Get him.
And then you have Aaron Cash yelling at him also. We don't have a new character. And this history of Spirit of Arkham things, I guess we might be able to get them all. Like, I honestly think now we do have all the Metroidvania abilities and all of that, so that should be fine. As far as collectibles, I guess we could probably get all of these. Like, there's one this way and there's one this way, so either it's going to make us run back and get these, or we're gonna end up doing this side quest, which totally feels like a side quest. As we were rushing towards the end, we've lost momentum here pretty badly. And they're just cramming in a section like this, when honestly this whole element could have been like the concept of saving the sewers, saving the water supply, could have been before even the beginning of the game, or it could have been a fake plot at the beginning of the game that the Joker pretended to have to buy himself time to work on the real plot. But yeah, looking here, we have roughly 49 more collectibles. That seems somewhat doable, depending really just on whether we want to go back to all the map places. That's where it's going to get crazy, is when if we can't very quickly run through this section and get this stuff, and fairly quickly run through these sections and get that stuff, and I'm fairly certain we've probably missing something in every single area. Yeah. So we would just have to run through the entire island, and I don't think the game is going to tell us a real reason to make us actually do that. This is a currently inactive door, so we can just walk through the door.
You heard him. Shoot to kill. I'd never do anything else. That's not what I heard.
So you pull those down the stairs, and then you just smash them in their face. Here, let's do a quick nipple check.
He's down there.
Yeah, they got nipples.
Making you all look like
Just making sure that they were actually animated there. There are no bat nipples on the suits, so that's something, at least. All right, well, yeah, seems there's a shortcut to Arkham West out this direction, which will kind of make it silly to have to run out this direction, but it really won't matter too much. If anything, it might save me some time if I come back through intensive treatment, and thus I don't have to walk through the beginning stages of intensive treatment so much. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it would to finish this game, but that is certainly because of it just adding more and more enemies to fight, more and more side quests to do. When you compare this game to a Telltale game like Telltale The Walking Dead, the first game in the Walking Dead series, and where that is just character interaction and maybe a little bit of point and click adventuring, there's, I think, a lot better story in Telltale's The Walking Dead than this, and what you get instead is almost just a little appetizer of what could have been good gameplay. This game would certainly not be held up as highly regarded in the annals of history if it weren't for the fact of Arkham City. But then, as we go through this series, maybe Arkham Origin and the fourth game in the series / the third game chronologically made by the same company, maybe the last two games combined really do just ruin the history of this game enough that it balances out the whole series into being a mediocre quadrilogy. That would be interesting, but I wouldn't be super surprised about that. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers needs to make a new Batman game. They need to reestablish that fire in their belly and say they can do it again. Or if they're not going to do a Batman game, they need to do a new DC series game of some sort, and could be any number of characters, but it probably should be somebody in the Bat family. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.